Hello, good afternoon. You're watching the special episode of Cricket Predicta sponsored by 1xBet and Vivek Infra. I'm your host, Sujata Parashar. A crucial clash. Will baseball blaze again or India dig in, rise up and script a comeback for ages? Cricket fans, the stage is set and the stakes couldn't be higher. Tomorrow, the fourth test between England and India kicks off at Old Trafford. And it's more than just a match. It's a battle for survival, legacy, and even a little destiny. England holds 2-1 lead, riding high on baseball, brilliance, home advantage, and some blistering knocks. But India? India is walking into Manchester with their backs to the wall and their fire turned up. This is India's shot at redemption. England has the momentum, but India has memory of Lords, of Gaba, of coming back from the brink. Old Trafford might just witness another chapter in the rivalry. Well, that's the surface. But to truly decode the strategy and subtext behind this test, I'm bringing a man whose cricket IQ is higher than Manchester's cloud cover. Joining us, cricket scholar Sunil Yashkalra, live from Manchester. Sunil, over to you.
Hello and welcome to a special program of Cricket Predictor brought to you by 1xBet. Mumbai Key Infrastructures, Delhi NCR. What do we have today? We are right in the heart of Birmingham. We have the exhibition centre at the left, the lake on the right, and you've got a beautiful, picturesque stadium view just behind the corner. But more importantly, we have three of the most important matches coming up today. One, of course, is the starting off the fourth test match between India and England, which we will be talking to Madan Lal about his views, reviews about the past test match and also how India can make a comeback. Well, the second is, of course, the Indian Eves take on the England women team. Of course, England team is on a resurgence path, but India has already dominated the series. More importantly, we have the third and the most important match. It is the WIC, yes, the West Indies champions. They take on the home side England in the T20 of the WCL match, the ongoing WCL series. Of course, it's a 6-team round-robin league format where the top four teams qualify into the semi-final and then eventually the final. Well, joining me are three of the most important guests that we have on the show today. We have Shivnarine Chanderpaul. Of course, Shivnarine Chanderpaul has had a legendary background to his batting. He's almost a legend in the middle order. He's played alongside Brian Lara. We have a quick chat with Shivnarine Chanderpaul where he talks about his stance, his style, and also, more importantly, yes, for the first time he opens about his roots, how he's connected to India, in a very emotional chat on the show coming up later in the program. We also have Ajay Sethi, the man who's the owner of this franchise called the West Indies Legends. Why his love for the game comes from the early 80s, how he's got into the business of sports, and also why Team West Indies. He's been very candid on the show. Also, we have the 1983, yes, Madan Lal. We all know Madan Lal as the former player, the World Cup winner, the coach, but very few know that he's actually bowled the first ball in the World Cup. Yes, it was way back in 1975. He comes back, joins us and talks in greater detail. Well, let me welcome Madan Lal on the show. Madan Lal, thank you for joining us. India lost at Lord's Test match. It was quite a close match. You played, of course, on this ground for many occasions. Of course, the biggest was the World Cup final in 1983. There were emotional scenes, of course. When you lose a match, players do tend to get emotional about it. But what do you think? What do you make of the whole energy? Now we are just inside the Old Trafford. Do you think India has a chance to make a comeback in the Test series?
I'm sure that they will because they have played a good cricket. At the same time, they have to, because if they want to, if they want to be in the series, if you lose, then you lose the series. But if you win, then you equalize the series. That is very, very important. This young Indian team is playing very well. and I'm sure they will come back very strongly.
Well, let's talk about a new rookie bowler. Yes, of course, he's straight out of the oven. His name is Anshul Kamboj. He's taken 79 wickets at an average of 22 in the first class. Can he continue with the bat as well, and could he get a sneak look inside the team, and can he actually make any contribution? Considering, remember, you've played here in England for over 20 years.
I'm not sure about that because Anshul is a new entry in the Indian team. He's done very well in the first class cricket, but I believe that Pardesh Krishna should play because he played the 2 test matches, and I know that the mistake which he has made, he will not make it again, and he has the experience of 2 test matches. He should play instead of Anshul. Anshul, the selectors are rating him very high. Even I heard that MS Dhoni has rated him very high. So he's there. He's there, but at the same time you have to see that which is the best guy can suit the conditions. That's a very, very important because it's a very crucial test match.
Well, when you look at the success, India hasn't had much success at the Manchester's Old Trafford. Do you think the team can rewrite history here, or do we need a special effort from all the top 4 batters and the top 3 bowlers to actually make a dent and rewrite the history?
See, history has to be changed, because you've seen it, at Western, we never won a test match. We won a test match there. But you have to play a good cricket to change the history. At the moment, like your top batsman has to get runs. I know most of them are getting runs, but when you make the team 11, 6 of the batsmen they pick, and 6 of them one or two has to get the big runs. So that's why you will get the big total where you can put a lot of pressure on England team. But the top player has to get runs, and the bowling unit is doing well. If you see the last match, the bowler has given them only 190 runs to chase, but somehow the Indian batter didn't chase those runs. But definitely, I think Indian bowling at the moment is doing quite well, and they are capable of doing the damage to the England team.
Well, Madipa, the show is called Cricket Predicta, and we're talking about stats. Of course, when you look at the stats at this stadium, at the Old Trafford, Manchester, of course, you've played here for several years. When you look back at this, India doesn't seem to have a great record. In fact, when you look at the overall record, out of the 139 matches India has played here in England, India has only won 36. That's truly appalling. But at the same time, India is on a resurgent path. You've got newcomers in the team. Do you think India needs to do something special to change the stats, the facts, considering that this is the new cycle of the WTC? Your views?
See, in England is very, very strong because they know the condition very well. And the record which you are talking about, 139 and 36 test matches India has won. But, it's very, you have to get used to the condition. But this series I've seen it, the wickets are very, very good. And the Indian batsman has done very well. So there must be, definitely going to be a different match altogether. The history has to be changed. But, only thing, you have to score runs. The only way you can win it, put a pressure, than scoring runs, a lot of scoring runs, like you did it in a second test match.
Well, there you had it. You had Madan Lal, who's talking about the game of cricket in greater depth, talking about how Indian team needs to make a resurgence. On the other side of the show, we catch up with Shivnarine Chanderpaul at the same backdrop. It was drizzling, and at the same time, emotional Chanderpaul talks about his views, and also the owner of the WIC and his decision to get Shivnarine Chanderpaul as player come coach. Remember, Shivnarine Chanderpaul is on the other side of the 40. He's still strong. He still looks the same as he did in the early 2000s. Let's hear what he had to talk about it. Hello and welcome to a special program of Cricket Predictor. This is an exclusive chat. We're talking to one of the legends of the game who's played the game, who wants to trace his history and also has got love for the Indian films. Let me ask you a very quick off-the-beat question. Have you watched a movie called Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum? Because my second question is based on that.
Yeah, many times.
What is the story like?
It's very good. I mean, Shahrukh and his dad, who's Amitabh Bachchan, had some issues, and Shahrukh left because he wanted to marry Kajol. And,
my God.
and then they ended up, I think, in England.
Yes.
And
Same
then,
place
and then,
where we are?
And then I think Ritik, is it his mom or grandma, asked him to make sure he get them back together?
Did you expect this question to start in the beginning of the call?
Not really.
Well, this is a special edition where we are talking heart to heart from a player to a player and with a team owner, which is a very rare thing. You watched that movie as well, sir.
Yeah, because I watch many, and that's one of them. Yes.
Yes. Do you think the good part is Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum means that it's sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're not? Are you happy the way that this league has come, WCL, and has extended the career paths of the legends?
Definitely. Look, you don't always get an opportunity to see the past players, and just given a tournament like this where you have legends that are coming back to it, and you're getting a chance to see them play out there again.
Right.
I mean, the only time you get to see legends all together is like when somebody hold a big gala
Or an exhibition match.
exhibition somewhere where you get an opportunity to see them again. Now you get an opportunity to see them constantly in tournaments, like this legend tournament here. And tournament like this is really, really good for the fans and for the players because they get an opportunity to see the players continue playing cricket. Even though they're retired, you can still play cricket, but you don't have to play it. Yes, the players gonna be competitive, but I mean you're still competitive for your country, but it's maybe not as competitive like when you used to play international cricket. But I still think these guys are competitive and they want to win. From what I've seen, our game and all the other games that is playing right now, players. They still have that belief that they want to get out there. They still have that pride and that joy that they want to win matches.
Just holding on there. We've spoken about the happiness days. Let's talk about some distressing moments that happened last week. 26 is not what you want to see how your team plays. Does that make you discomfort? I mean, or you want to come back with your shape and everything, your fitness? Do you want to come back?
Well, it's obvious for us. It's disappointing and it's sad to see what's happening. And your team go out there to play. You always, I mean, if West Indies is playing, obviously I'm going to put on the television. I'm going to have a look and see what's happening. It doesn't matter which team is playing. Whenever I'm home, I always put on the television watching teams playing. If it's T20, test matches, whoever is playing at that time, I'll put on the television and watch. And then when I put it on, and then when I came back home and I put on the television, I see 5 for 2, and I was like, is that 5 runs for 2 wickets, or is it? Let me go on ESPN and check what's the score, because I wasn't too sure what's happening at that time. When I look at it, I saw 5 wickets for 2 runs. I was like, damn, what's going on here, you know? And then all of a sudden
Did you feel that you should pick up the phone and call up somebody and vent out?
No, not really. I mean, the guys are there. They are there to do the job. I'm home. I'm not a part of that. So, but you're expecting your team to go out there.
You had a problem of plenty. You had some of the best players in your side. And was it difficult to keep the skipper or choose the skipper and then the coach, or was it the other way around?
The skipper was mentally done. So it was
the big boss.
Super boss or reverse boss. And also the coach was also spontaneous. Because it was those things you don't, there's no brainless. But I had, also I wanted to bring in Carlos Perfect. And I missed him because I asked the team why he's not in the team. But he said some date, something happened. I think the next year make sure, because I really watched him in Calcutta winning the trophy.
Yes, absolutely. You have some of the best players, and in fact, when you look around, the year is 2027. You have some of the best players who've retired from the competitive cricket and are playing the Legends League. So you would have a dream team. Do you envisage that moment?
Yes, I think dream team. My team, I'm telling you, look at the current IPL players.
Yes. This legend part of it, you get it all the time. And you'll be told if you put your front foot out there, it will kill you. So you learn to bat. I mean, even when the balls pitch up, you learn to hit them off your back foot. And most of our players will pass. When you're in the net, most of our guys bowl the ball with length. They don't bowl you a lot of short balls, but the length balls, because they're big, tall guys, the length balls is just passing by your head. And you have to deal with it because the wickets are freshly green and a lot of moisture in it, and the balls are coming down. And some of the guys are you just go flat out in the nets. You know, when you go to the nets, so when you come out there, you have no issue with no opposition bowlers. And it's true. I mean, when we finish on our nets, we have no problem, no opposition bowler because everything is passing your head.
Absolutely, everything passing your head.
With 1983, but
Right.
I'm born in that era with those people. But I'm telling you, those are legends. Viv Richards today, a huge legend. Live Sir Clark. I was there with him, Barbados and with last. So to me, we have legends in India, we have Pakistan, we have legends in Australia, but I think to your mind, I see legends. I only see Sri Gavaskar batting and 5 bowlers of bowling.
Absolutely, that was an amazing sight. Chanderpaul, you grew up on that era with fast bowlers, especially at the fag end of their career, but at the same time, you were not exactly one of the taller size. You were more of a Sunil Gavaskar kind of a run kind of it, or a Rahul Dravid, as Mr. Sethi describes you as. Do you think you had a problem bowlers coming in fast at you, glaring, or giving you a sledge here and there?
This legend part of it, you get it all the time, and you'll be told if you put your front foot out there, it will kill you. So you learn to bat. I mean, even when the balls pitch up, you learn to hit them off your back foot. And most of our players will pass. When you're in the net, most of our guys bowl the ball with length. They don't bowl you a lot of short balls, but the length balls, because they're big, tall guys, the length balls is just passing by your head. And you have to deal with it because the wickets are freshly green and a lot of moisture in it, and the balls are coming down. And some of the guys are just go flat out in the nets. You know, when you go to the nets, so when you come out there, you have no issue with no opposition bowlers. And it's true. I mean, when we finish on our nets, we have no problem, no opposition bowler because everything is passing your head.
Absolutely, everything passing your head. How did the story of your unique stance happen ever?
Look, I used to stand very side arm.
Yeah.
And I used to every time I shuffle, I fall over and my weight going in the wrong direction. So I need to make sure my weight going forward towards the line of the ball.
Yeah.
So I open a little bit to make sure my weight is not falling to the offside, and I could take my weight forward to the ball now. But when the bowler's about to bowl, I'm back in a side arm position, but I'm well balanced and still enough to play the ball with a little more ease. Yeah.
Lovely. What about the zinc? Zinc around.
The sticker.
The sticker on
The sticker for the glare. It helps with 65% of the glare away from your eyes. And I never used to wear glasses.
Yeah?
So sunglasses, I wasn't comfortable with it, so I put it on the glare strips, and that used to help me. Oh, it's too small here for this stance. The step is, I used to be open, but then I get side arm about when the bowler's about to bowl, you know? So making sure that I'm in line with the ball, I can pick up the line of the ball properly, I'm balanced, I'm still enough, and makes it a lot easier as a batter to play the ball.
So you've managed to get him as your player come coach. Do you think he's changed in the last 3 decades of cricket?
No, first of all, the legends never change. In other perspective, but I think he's maintained him so well. He's a sportsman.
Yes.
And look at Kapil Dev today. He's 60 plus, whatever, but he's still his sports. Look at the style of his golf, and he's a sportsman. But I think he has not changed. Rahul Dravid has not changed. Because
Yes.
I always compared him in my mind. I see Rahul Dravid, I should visualize Shiv. So this was my little layman, non-cricket side of thinking.
Just a quick thing. You and your son, you're having a dash 100 meters. You think you're going to still beat him?
Not now. I used to beat him back then, but not now. When we used to train for Guyana, and when we do the 100-meter dash, or maybe the 40-meter dash, we used to do timing on it. So I used to be ahead of him, but I don't think I'll beat him anymore.
Memories of India? 1994, your first trip to India?
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember that was the tournament that Kapil retired.
Yes.
So I had an opportunity to play in that tournament also when Kapil was here. So it was a really good memory way back then to remember I know the first time going to India and then knowing where your ancestors came from, get an opportunity to go back there. It was, something that we all look forward to. I mean, as Indian, going back to India and see what it's like back there.
Did you manage to find your roots?
Could not find that. Yeah, I tried my best, but all those old people died, and we could not trace them.
But coming back to this Legends series, your views about Mr. Sethi, the team that you've come in for the first time. I mean, are you excited, nervous, or you're still back in the old days of business, padding up and telling people where to go, field placements, everything?
Well, that job is now left to Chris and our vice captain, who's Pollard. And we have other senior guys like Bravo, and most of the guys in the field, because it's legend cricket, most of them are senior players now.
Right.
So they out there, they are experienced enough. I'm there to support them and help them as much as I can. But the guys are, they have the experience out there on the pitch, because a lot of times coach is inside, but you can't be out here on the pitch. So the guys out there, the one who have to make the decision, but you discuss things with them before they get out in the park.
I'll hand it over to my colleague.
Well, there you heard it. The emotional Shivnarine Chanderpaul, as we all know, his son actually plays for the West Indies team back at the first class level as well. He's had a little go at the international players at some stage of his career. We had an interesting chat. Well, that's all we had time for. Keep watching. We'll be back after a short commercial break.